presentation. Please welcome to the stage our first speaker, Vivian Wu.
Hello, everyone. Welcome and thanks for joining. Okay, so first, let me ask you this. When you went to law school, was balancing books, reconciling bank accounts, or chasing down missing payments ever part of your dream? Probably not. And yet, for so many firms, that's the reality. Instead of focusing on clients, you're bogged down in spreadsheets, reconciling line by line, wondering if that payments got recorded correctly, or dreading month end. It feels like less practicing law, but more like managing a never-ending accounting exam. Sound familiar? That's the problem we're here to solve. So before we jump into Clio Accounting, I'd like to take a moment to recognize our sponsors and thank them for their generous support. Today, we'll walk through how Clio Accounting changes that story. First, we'll look at some common challenges law firms face when it comes to bookkeeping and compliance. Then we'll see how Clio brings everything together in one place, connecting banking, expenses, and reporting. We'll explore how automation removes repetitive manual work while keeping full trust and control. And finally, we'll show you how Clio Payments and Clio Accounting work seamlessly together, giving you a financial system that's faster, easier, and far less stressful to manage. My name is Lillian. I'm a staff product manager at Clio. For the past couple of years, I've been working on our accounting product, really focused on making the day-to-day of managing finances easier and more intuitive for law firms. So whenever I talk to law firms about accounting, I hear the same thing. It's a huge time sink. Think about a typical week. You start Monday with a plan for client work, but by Tuesday afternoon, you're knee-deep in your books. Tracking expenses, reviewing bank feed, categorizing transactions, double-checking invoices. By Friday, you realize that you've spent almost 20 hours on financial tasks alone. That's basically half your week gone. Half your week that could have spent on billable work or actually practicing law. And for law firms, it's not just the hours, it's the weight of the work. So you're not just managing expenses like any other small business. You are handling client trust funds with strict compliance requirements. You're making sure every transactions are tied to the right matter. You're tracking payments with zero margin for error because mistakes don't just cause headaches. They can put your license at risk. So what you're left with is an endless pile of tedious, stressful work that never stops. And it constantly pulls you away from your real priority, practicing law and serving your clients. So if accounting is eating up half your week and the stakes are this high, what's the way out? This is where Clio Accounting comes in. It takes the complexity off the plate and brings everything into one place. We know that Clio Accounting is still young. We're like a year and 3 months old. And like any young product, there are places where improving usability, reducing workflow friction, and connecting more of the pieces together. But even now, we are making important progress toward a clear vision. A system where your financial work feels connected instead of fragmented, where automation does the heavy lifting without sacrificing trust and compliance, and where you save time without worrying about errors. That's what we are working toward. And today, I will show you how Clio Accounting is already moving in that direction. So one of the simplest but surprisingly painful areas that we've tackled is check printing. Let me ask you this. Who enjoys writing checks? It's manual, messy, and another place where errors can creep in. With Clio's check printing, handling outgoing payments becomes simple and reliable. You can generate checks directly from your accounting records, keeping them accurate and automatically creating a clear trail for your books. It sounds like a small example, but shows a bigger picture. Financial tasks that once ate up your time now take minutes, giving you less stress and more confidence. So let's take a quick look at how check printing works in Clio Accounting. You can access check printing from Global Add. First, you may want to customize a check template to match your firm's style, or simply use a system default template. Here, I start with the default template, give it a name, and save it as my firm's template. Then, you can select transactions you want to pay, whether it's your firm's operating expenses, reimbursable hard costs, trust withdrawals, or trust disbursements. Clio Accounting makes it easy to navigate. And just select transaction and create a check. It's straightforward with key details already pre-filled, so you don't have to manually type in everything. And we've got a few enhancements on the way. We will be expanding support for more check stock types and making bulk check creation easier, so you can save even more time and be more efficient. So now that you have seen check printing in action, here are some tips that we see firms use all the time. Pre-printed check stock can eliminate issues with needing magnetic ink character recognition. It's a tiny step that you set up once, but saves big headaches every week. Now that we've seen how check printing can make everyday payments easier, let's tackle one of the most stressful parts of legal accounting: trust reconciliation. So earlier, we've talked about how law firms spend roughly 20 hours buried in financial tasks. And one of the biggest contributors to that pain is trust reconciliation. Juggling the trust ledger, the IOTA bank account, and the client balances can feel like a math puzzle you've never signed up for. It's tedious, stress process that eats up hours every month. So how does Clio Accounting make trust reconciliation less painful? We've boiled it down to just 2 steps. Yes, just 2 steps. Step 1, your trust ledger transactions matched to your bank are automatically reconciled. So reconciliation happens almost instantly. Step 2, client liabilities and trust ledger balances are aligned, giving you a clear, accurate picture of every client's funds. And on top of that, Clio includes built-in troubleshooting breakdown to help you quickly resolve any discrepancies. And all reconciliation reports are compliance ready, so you are always prepared for audits. So let's take a look at this in action. To start reconciliation, enter the start and end dates along with the balances. First, You will review transactions from the trust ledger against the bank balance. Clio automatically reconciles matched transactions and highlights any discrepancies in the breakdown. From there, you can quickly select transactions to make up the difference. So once the trust ledger is reconciled, you move to the next step, confirming client liability balances. Most customers will not need to go to client trust funds, but if you ever see it imbalanced, Clio flags any missing or mismatched transactions to help you quickly identify them and fix them. And that's it. In just 2 steps, your IOTA account, trust ledger, and client liabilities are fully reconciled, a process that used to take hours. To finish, you'll get a compliance-ready reconciliation report with a summary, cleared and uncleared transaction details, and full visibility into client and matter fund movements. So trust reconciliation doesn't have to be a headache. Stay on top of it by matching your transactions regularly and making sure every trust dollar has a clear source and destination. All right, now that we have seen how Clio Accounting can turn a stressful task like trust reconciliation into just 2 simple steps, let's talk about a real game changer, automation. This is where you can stop doing the same repetitive clicks over and over, let the system do the heavy lifting, streamlining feed to books in your way. Introducing rule-based automation, the kind of automation that you can actually trust, save time, and stay in control. With rule-based automation, you can set up rules that fit your firm's workflow. So transactions get categorized and posted automatically. No more clicking through the same tasks again and again. And you stay in control because it's your automation guided by your rules. The result? Accurate books, faster reconciliations, and more time back to focus on growing your firms and serving your clients. Here is how it works in practice. Just head into the accounting automation to create a new rule. Give it a name and set the criteria. Say maybe funds out transactions from a specific bank account. You can then add conditions like bank description, raw bank memo, or amount to match transaction patterns. For example, you may want to capture recurring rideshare charges from Uber. Next, you can define actions, the rule actions, by choosing the category and the vendor that should be assigned whenever those conditions are met. And finally, decide how you want the rule to run. Let the system do the work for you by automatically posting transactions straight to your books and moving them into the Reviewed tab. That way, you cut out the manual work entirely. Or if you prefer, you can review transactions first, and either individually or in batches to handle any exceptions. Here you have it. So rules means fewer clicks, fewer errors, and faster bookkeeping. You can always see which transactions are impacted and make adjustments as needed. So your books always stay accurate. It's like having your own AI assistant, but you are the one in charge. So here are some tips to help you use rules more effectively. Create rules for some routine transactions that happen often and check them regularly. That way, your books stay accurate automatically, and you spend far less time on repetitive bookkeeping. That's pretty cool, right? But here's where it gets really powerful. Clio payments auto-matching really completes the ecosystem. Clio products work better together. Payments go straight to your books automatically, no extra clicks, no manual review. Just a smooth flow from invoice to ledger, everything connected. In the past, bookkeeping has always felt disconnected. Even in Clio, you still had to manually match Clio payments deposits to bank transactions. That extra step added friction and opened the door to errors. Now that's gone. Payout deposits you received via Clio payments flow right into your books in Clio Accounting, already matched and ready to go. No more manual review and confirm match. And don't worry, you will always have the visibility into what's being automated. You can turn it off if you like, so not only your books stay accurate, it's always under your control. For those of you using Clio Payments and Clio Accounting, this means a seamless, fully automated feed-to-books workflow, saving you time and giving you peace of mind that everything is taken care of. So some tips. Make sure your Clio Payments account in Clio Manage is mapped to the right bank account in accounting. That way, deposits flow right in and match automatically. No manual work is required. All right, so we've come almost the end of our session. So let's step back and look at where we're headed. Our goal with Clio Accounting is clear: to make financial work more connected than fragmented, to let automation take on the repetitive work while you stay in control, and to give you back time without adding stress. Everything we've looked at today is part of that direction. To recap the three main themes from today. First, one tool for everything. Clio Accounting brings your key tasks together, from paying expenses to reconciliation, so you're not juggling disconnected systems. Second, trust and control. Takes care of repetitive work while you stay firmly in charge. It's automation you can rely on. And third, a connected ecosystem. With Clio Payments and Clio Accounting work hand in hand, you get a smooth flow from transactions to books. The takeaway? Clio Accounting is simplifying complexity, reducing stress, and giving you back the confidence and time to focus on growing your firm. And we're just getting started. Thank you all for your time today. I hope you find this session helpful and can take some of these ideas back to your practice. If you have any questions, I will be hanging out in the product lab. It's just over there. And be sure to drop by Success Center, also located in the exhibit hall C, and visit our Level Up area, which is right here, to see more ways that Clio can support your firm.